Namaste sir, myself Vaishnav Gadia from final year currently pursuing BTech in Computer and Communication Engineering. Today I am here to present video assignment on machine learning. So let's get started.
So hello, myself Ashutosh Jindal, and today we will learn about real life example of machine learning, which is restaurant reviews. And we are doing this by using NLP technique, which is natural language processing. So let's dive into our presentation.
So our today's agenda is firstly we will proceed with the introduction of machine learning and natural language processing. Then we will understand it through a live example on restaurant reviews and steps involved in it. So following are all the steps from importing libraries to viewing the data set and then processing data set and cleaning it, then tokenization and stemming, vectorization, test chain split, and last but not the least, results prediction. And then we will go through our references and our team members at the last. So let's proceed with the steps one by one. So let me introduce you to machine learning. Machine learning is the field of study that gives computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Machine learning is one of the most exciting technologies that one would ever have come across. It is evident from the name. It gives the computer that makes it more similar to humans, ability to learn. Coming to various machine learning types, machine learning is broadly divided into three categories: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Coming to supervised learning is when the machine learning model is getting trained on a labeled dataset. Labeled dataset is one which have both input and output parameters. So, according to the data received, it is classified into regression and classification. Coming to classification, it is a supervised learning task where output is having defined labels, or we can say discrete values. Coming to regression, it is a supervised learning in which where output is having continuous values. So now it is given popular set of algorithms and possible applications. Some of the examples of supervised machine learning algorithms are linear regression, k-nearest neighbor, Gaussian naive Bayes, decision trees, SVM random forest, etc. Now coming to unsupervised learning, it is a type of learning where we don't give target to our model while training. That is, training model has only one input parameter values. The model by itself has to find which way it can learn. So now we understand unstructured data and unlabeled data. Unstructured data may contain noisy, meaningless data, missing values, or unknown data. Unlabeled data is a data which only contains value for input parameters. There is no targeted value output. It is easy to collect as compared to labeled one in supervised approach. So unsupervised learning is broadly classified into two categories, that is clustering and association. Clustering is applied to group data based on different patterns our machine learning model finds. Association is a rule-based machine learning technique which finds out some useful relations between parameters of a large data set. Below is the set of popular algorithms and possible applications in unsupervised machine learning. Some of them algorithms are k-means clustering, dbScan, BIRCH, balanced iterative reduced and clustering using hierarchies clustering, etc. Last but not the least, reinforcement learning. In this technique, model keeps on increasing its performance using a reward feedback to learn the behavior or pattern. These algorithms are specific to a particular type of problems like Google self-driving car, AlphaGo. Uh, the more it learns, the better it gets trained and hence experienced. Here are some points to be noted. Agents observe input. Agent performs an action by making some decisions. After its performance, agent receives reward and accordingly reinforce, and the model stores in a state action pair of information. Now below that given popular set of algorithms and possible applications. So some of the possible algorithms are temporal differences, Q-learning, deep adversarial networks. If we will go in the depth, so it is further classified into optimization by dimensionality reduction and decision making classification.
So let me give some brief about NLP. NLP is natural language processing. It is an area of computer science and AI concerned with the interaction between computer and human languages. In particular, how to program computer to process and analyze large amount of natural language data. It is a branch of machine learning which is about analyzing any text and handling predictive analysis. So it's all about analyzing text and predictive analysis. Now let's dive into our project, which is restaurant review, and we are using ML and NLP to predict restaurant review, and at last we will produce the score. So let's dive in. So these are the 5 steps which are involved in our project. So let me give you the brief about each step one by one. So the first step is data pre-processing and cleaning. So we download the dataset from the Kaggle and we perform certain operation so that we modified our dataset in a way so that we can use that dataset in efficient manner in our ML model. So the second step is tokenization and stemming. So tokenization refer to splitting of sentence into word, like example, I love Manipal. So what tokenization do is it split up the sentence into word and store them into the list. So this 3 word I love Manipal get stored into the list. So the stemming, what stemming do is it convert the word into its root form. Like example, we have fishing, fisher, finished. So these are the third form or second form of the word. So these are converted into root form, which is called as finish. So stemming convert this form into finish. So the third step is vectorization. Vectorization is basically conversion of word format into its numerical format, which means like we count how many times the word appear in the sentence. Like we have example, good food, good life. Here we can see that good appear 2 times in the sentence and food appear 1 times and life again appear 1 times. So what vectorization do is it count how many times the word is repeating again and again. So it give only the numerical count of our word. So the third step is test and train. So what we do is we have a data set which we divide into 2 parts. The one part is the larger part and another one is the smaller part. So the larger part we use in the training and the smaller part we use in the testing purpose. So to test our ML model. So at last, which is result prediction. This is all about predicting the score of our project and showing some graphical representation and showing the conclusion and result. So these are the 5 steps which are involved in this project, and we will start our demo from the next slide onwards. So this is our data set of 3568 entries about reviews, and these are the reviews column, how the people review about the restaurant, and the liked column show 1 or 0. Ones mean they like the restaurant very much and 0 represent they do not like the restaurant. So this is our data set. So let us understand various steps involved in text processing and flow of NLP. For this project, we are using scikit-learn library, which is a free software ML library for Python programming language. So what we are doing is that we are importing numpy as numpy and import pandas as pd. So in the first step, what we are doing is basically importing dataset with setting delimiter as /t as column are separated as tab space. Review and their categories 0 or 1 are not separated by any other symbol but with the tab space, as most of the other symbol are of review like dollar or price. So the algorithm might use them as delimiter, which will lead to strange behavior like error and weird output in output. So step 2 involve three major steps. The first step is importing libraries. Second step is tokenization and treatment. And the third step is stemming and recombination. So we are discussing these three steps one by one. So first of all, we will discuss the first step, which is importing library. So here we import our first library, which is regular expression. Regular expression are the meaningful word in the English. So we have import this regular expression library. Secondary, we have importing the another library, which is natural language toolkit. And out of this big library, we are downloading our stop word in this project. So after downloading of stop word, what we are doing is we are importing this stop word to remove this stop word. So in the last, what we are doing is we are importing Porter Stemmer library, which will be used in the further step. So the second step involves tokenization and treatment. So here we can see that we have declared the empty list array, or empty list, which is named as corpus. So out of these 3675 reviews, we are iterating from 0 to 3675. So what we are doing is that here is the regular expression library, and out of this what we are doing is that the letter which start from small a to z and large A to Z are kept, and the other things are removed, like punctuation number that doesn't help much in pre-processing the given text. If included, they will just increase the size of bags of word that will create as last step and decrease the efficiency of algorithm. So we are removing the punctuation and number by replacing with this empty string. So in the next step, what we are doing is we are converting the case uppercase to lower case. So there is an maybe chance where we are getting two words, which is one is, let's say, good with the capital G, and another one is small good with the small g. So what we are doing is that we are converting the large G letter good into small g, so that we can count the frequency, and that larger word and smaller word we can differentiate that these are the same word. So in the last step of tokenization and treatment, split the array meter default delimiter is. So what we are doing is that we are splitting our array, like we have an array called array. We have an example like I love Manipal. So we are just splitting that I love Manipal into three words and storing in this corpus. So here is the last step, which is stemming and recombination. In this, the first step is creating Porter stemmer object to take main stem of each word. So here we have write a command ps is equal to Porter stemmer. So as we discussed, what is stemmer do is convert the third form, third form, second form, fifth form to the root value, which is like fish. We get the root value fish from fisher, fishing, and another values. So what we are doing in this step is we are loop for stemming each word in string array at this row. So what we are doing is that we are stemming the word, so we are finding the word like amazing, so we convert that amazing word into the root word which is amaze. And also in this step what we are doing is that we are removing the word which are not in use in the English. These are the helping verb like it, is, am, the, vowels, any vowels or articles. So these are the word which does not have any use in our command. Like in the previous step we can see that we only remove punctuations, numbers, etc, but we have kept a to z and bigger a to z. So here from that English word which doesn't have any meaning and used only for the helping, so we are removing the stop word over here. So at the last two step of stemming and recombination, what we are doing is that we are rejoin all string array element to create back into a string. So here is the command review is equal to space dot join review, and then we are append each string to create array of clean text which is corpus dot append bracket reviews. So this is the all step 2 in this R. So here you can see our data set which is saying it was absolute amazing initially in our data set. So what we do is we transform that data set into our machine learning model data set, so which is a corpus list of the elements. Here we can see that here the this sentence get completely changed into absolute amaze. So here after the step 2 involving all three major steps, what we are getting is absolute amaze, and which this is the stemming part where finishing, finished and finisher converted into fish. So here also the amazing word get converted into amaze word after stemming process. So step 2 involve this part.
Now let's see another important step, that is step third. It involves tokenization. It is splitting sentences and words from the body of the text. We will achieve it by making the bag of words by a space matrix. Firstly, we will take all the differences of words of reviews in the dataset without repeating of words. One column for each word. Therefore, there are going to be many columns. Rows are reviews. In Word, if there is a row of dataset of reviews, then the count of word will be there in row of bags of words under the column of the word. Now understand it with our example. For this purpose, we need count vectorizes class from sklearn.featureExtraction.text. We also set a max number of features. Max number feature helps the most via attribute max features. It achieves in efficient formation of our data set so that our data set do not take much time to get loaded. Do the training on the corpus and then apply the same transformation to the corpus. Dot fit transformation of corpus and then convert it to an array. If review is positive or negative, that answer is in the second column of the dataset. All rows and first column indexing from 0. This code means dataset square brackets colon comma 1. So that means this only. Okay, so let's understand it from our own example. Let's take a dataset of reviews of only 2 reviews. Here we can see that in the left we have our full dataset which has tab separated values of either bad review or good reviews. Now in the right side we have taken as input damn good steak and another review as good food good. So its output will be, for first review it has one damn word and one steak word, and for second review it has two good words in it, one food word, one service word in it. So In this way, we will perform bag of words technique in our dataset. Moving forward to step 4, it involves splitting corpus into training and test dataset. For this, we need class train test split from sklearn.cross-validation. Split can be made into various ratios like 70-30 or 80-20 or 85-15 or 75-25. Here, we are taking bigger number for training our dataset and smaller number for testing purposes. Here I chose 75:25 via test size. X is the bag of words, Y is 0 or 1, which is positive or negative. Here comes my favorite step, fitting a predictive model. Here I am using random forest. Since random forest is ensemble model made of many trees from sklearn.ensemble, import random forest classify class with 501 trees or n estimators and criteria is entropy. Fit the model via .fit method with attributes xtrain and y_train. So here we can visualize is to our code. Coming to step 6, it is all about prediction of final results. Predicting final results via using .predict method with attribute x_test. So here we can visualize it through our array that we have all the word format converted into data numeric format in the form of an array. Now here comes the most important part. To get various scores like accuracy, F1 score, log loss, we perform certain operations. In this slide, we are particularly concerned with accuracy score. So to know the accuracy, confusion matrix is needed. Accuracy with random forest was 72%. It may be different when performed experiment with different dataset test size. Here I am taking it as 25%. So let's understand confusion matrix. It is a matrix which is 2 cross 2 in its size. It has hence 4 combination of rows and columns. Firstly, true positive. It means the proportion of actual positives that are correctly identified. Now, second one is true negative, which measures the proportion of actual positives that are not correctly identified. Now, the third one is false positive, which measures the proportion of actual negatives that are correctly identified. And now, last but not the least, false negative, which measures the proportion of actual negatives that are not correctly identified. We can understand it through the picture in the slide also, which is in the left hand side. Now, let's come to our live case example. True or false refers to the assigned classification being correct or incorrect, while positive or negative refers to the assignment to the positive or the negative category. Here we can see our array which is actually confusion matrix of our example restaurant reviews. So here 77 is true positive, which we have predicted that true, and yes, they were true. And here 36 is false negatives, where we predicted that these were negatives, but in actual they were false. So coming to third, 34 is false positives. These were given positives, but in actuality they were zeros. So last but not the least, coming to 103, these are true negatives. We predicted them negative, and yes, they were really negatives. So this is all about confusion matrix with live example of our restaurant reviews.
So let us see how we can make our project better. So here is the scope and improvement. So we are having 3 scope and improvement in this project. The first one is deduce different score like accuracy, log loss, F1 score, etc. Other classification technique can be implemented to further enhance its score. Feed more data to enhance its accuracy and other score. So these are the scope and improvement of this project. So here are the references which we have taken the help from this website to make our project.
There is a famous quote in Hindi and also it is truly said, "Ek se bale do." So here we are, meet Ashutosh Jindal and me, Vaishnav Gadia. We have both made this NLP project and also taken an example of restaurant reviews as a life case example so that you can get the overall picture and the main gist of this topic. We have taken together the codes, the visualization pictures and also the live case example so that you can get the overall picture.